Hey everybody, and thanks for watching Woodcrest Bonsai. Today I'm going to repot and root prune this guava. And it's in a convoluted pot, or I don't know what you'd call it, convex, concave, whatever it is. And I was afraid I was going to have to break the pot because I was not sure I was going to be able to saw down into the soil to get the thing out of there, because you know the roots that are from here over into this section, it just isn't going to come straight up. These pots are very decorative, but that's one huge problem with pots that have, I think it's concave, anyway, have a lip that's smaller around than the outside of the pot. You notice I've chosen two different pots that I'm going to decide from. And they both are very straight, so that when it's time to repot, they're both old and ugly and dirty, but they'll be fine. Actually, old and ugly and dirty is, well, maybe I shouldn't go there. Okay, so because I was going to have to break the pot, or thinking I was going to have to break the pot, which still may happen, I decided to show you a pot that I broke unintentionally. And this is such a pretty pot. I love this thing. But you can see there's a crack there, and if we turn it around, there's a huge crack there that it just didn't quite happen. And when you shatter a pot, because let's look at how many pieces there were. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let me look under here. And it was a beautiful pot, 2013. It's got a chop mark. Really pretty pot. But I just inadvertently was moving another plant that was rather long and leggy, and I snagged the tree that this pot was in, and boom. So you never get it perfect. So yeah, there was 1, looks like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Anyway, I was able to find them all, and I glued it back together. So at some point it will get another tree, and this will be the front, even though the suture mark right there it's not that bad. It's worse over here because the pot I wasn't able to line it up as well as I could have. So I thought, I'm probably going to have to break this pot. But then I took my root hook and I started cutting through, and I'm getting pretty good results. So I'm thinking that maybe breaking the pot is not necessary. You can see this tree is very root bound. The first main branch completely died, and I've got a lot of dieback. I guess that's the second main branch if we talk here. And this was the front right here, but I want to change the front to right there. Once again, it's not even with the pot, so it needs to be spun. Each pot that I've chosen as the replacement for this one is a little bigger, so I shouldn't think it should. And I may just turn this to gin and then bring this guy down into here to fill that space. Probably won't be that big of a deal. But I need to continue with my procedure here. Oh, that's a big root. This root right here is down in there. Oh, come on, baby. This is a specific root hook made in Japan, obviously. Did I get through that? I think I did. Okay, so I have gone all the way around, and let's see. Oh man, it looks like it's gonna come out. It looks like it's going to come out. Hooray! I won't have to break the pot. Although I will tell you, as they say in France, voila. Beauty-miss. Well, that was far easier than I thought. So thank you, Mr. Guava. And check out the roots that I cut out. So here you can see the roots are in that semicircle. So I will save this pot. I'm probably going to use it for something like a portulacaria that does not have woody roots. But that is a very happy evening. Look at that. It all came up as one big long run. Alright. So I'm super happy about that. What I'm not super happy about is I did not bring any soil with me. Oh man, my producer must be so mad at me. Oh wait, I don't have a producer. Alright, so where were we? This is going to be the front. I'm going to chop off some stuff. This branch here that's poking right at us. Guess maybe I should, well here, let me do this. Get this guy out of there. Move this guy over and then bring the tree further back. So voila! But if you look, this is coming right at us. And it's dead too, so I will probably turn it into a little bit of gin. So let's see if we can do that. Because it's dead, it's going to be much harder to take the bark off. It's so much easier when the cambium is alive to remove the bark. Okay, cut through and rip down. Oh, so much for ripping down. And I have some wood carving tools, which I'm probably going to need to actually get that bark off of there. And honestly, I had not intended this video to have anything to do with creating gin. So we're going to leave that for there. I think I'm going to be forced to take at least this part off of this guy. I may leave it for some more gin. I don't know why. And this limb is a little bit too heavy for these concave cutters. Tools only have really a range of what they can do. And that's probably second to like leaving them out in the rain and letting them rust. That's one of the worst things you can do to your tools, is to stress them. And I don't know why I'm just leaving this gigantic stub, but I'm going to. Maybe you can try to figure out why I did that in the comments. Alright. But you see now it's giant hole here, missing a bunch, but we can bring this guy down and it will fill in. And even though this is the front, it's moving to the back. Guava is very hard wood, and that's why I was really having a lot of trepidation about whether I'd get it out of the pot. So this tree was pinched considerably during the growing season, but it still needs a whole nother level of refinement. I'm going to bring everything down. I like to create space between my branches. See, this branch here is actually like a water chute. See how straight it is? Just completely straight. Coming from way down here and then growing straight up. And that's from pinching this. The tree says, oh, maybe I need to sprout more. I need to sprout up here and let this part die. So I'm going to take that part off. That little water chute. And a water chute is called a water chute because they typically occur For one thing, let's get the tree out of the way. And this is not a fantastic water shoot example. Some of them could be 2, 3, 4 feet. But typically completely straight, growing off of a lower limb and then shooting straight up through the tree. And it happens after a heavy rain, when the tree has a lot of water available and it just shoots that new growth. So now, if this is the front, and already I'm leaning towards the blue pot. This is in a really nice bonsai mix. Pretty much the same mix I use, although this is another one that my friend gave me when she got rid of her collection. It looks to have a little perlite, which I don't have. Or maybe that's pumice, but you can see the lava rock, that's the red. Then there's a little bit of granite, and it does look like some pumice too. So putting it into my bonsai mix is not going to be that big of a transition, because that's what I use. So let's put it into here and then step back, and I guess push it like this. That's actually not that bad. Not bad at all. And oh boy, this really needs to come down badly. It's an adverb. Yes, isn't it amazing how vocabulary has morphed? So now something that's bad is actually good. Man, that's bad, which means it's good, which confuses me tremendously. Okay. I have the feeling I'm still going to go with the blue pot. It's a little deeper. And guavas, in theory, produce a little fruit. This one never has. I don't know why I say in theory. I mean, guavas produce fruit. Typically, you grow them real big, so they make lots of fruit that you eat. But as a bonsai, fruit production, oh, much nicer. Yes, it's not as tight in there. The pot is perhaps a tiny little bit not long enough, but I'm happier with that. I guess I was leaning blue all along. I do want to take off a little bit of the bottom, and I forgot my root hook. Why? Man, you know you're going to repot a tree. Guess I'll just do this. Seems to be working. I think I'm going to fire my producer. Oh wait, that means I've stopped doing videos. Uh-oh, it's one of those mornings. Maybe that coffee was a little extra strong. That's better. And this is a pretty cool tree. I like this tree. But I think that's a much better front. Even though it's got a very funky nabari. This was the front, but you notice how all the limbs are all going backwards, away from you. Here's another dead one that can be shortened tremendously, even though it's heading towards the back. So I like this front better. And do I do it like that, or do I do it like that? I think like that. Because this guy, we can bring this guy down like that, and see, that just creates so much more of a canopy than like that. I'm probably not going to do that today. I am going to let this tree recover, because root pruning is a very stressful event, and so is wiring. So typically I don't want to do too much too soon. You know, I've gotten on this kick lately with my videos of saying that bonsai is a combination of artistry and horticulture. And you've got to get the horticulture right, or doing the artistry becomes impossible, because it's really hard to style a dead tree. So not too much too soon. I talked about in another video how I don't fertilize right away. That's because the brand new roots, I don't want them to get burned. Let the new roots begin to fill out into the new soil. See that the tree is recovering, and then give it some fertilizer. And that's exactly what I will do with this guy. And not too much, because this guy grew like crazy. When I was pinching it, I mean, just I'd come back 2 weeks later and it had shot up shoots that were 2, 3, 4, 5 inches. So, still got to put pause because I didn't bring my soil with me either. Okay, so because I put this guy very close to the edge here, getting the soil down in there could be a little tricky. So, I've got my bucket, same bucket that I used to add the soil to the ilex shillings I did yesterday. I didn't bring my scoop either, so I'm going to do it with my hand. And this mix, if you look at the brand new mix versus the old mix, and obviously this old mix has a lot of roots and stuff, but very, very similar. And this is why I save the old mix, so I can save this, use this same tray, put it out in the full sun, do a thin layer of the old bonsai soil. You know, you want to get rid of this kind of stuff. But the rest of it can dry, and then I can sift it again, and it'll be as good as new because it doesn't degrade. Anything like organic matter does. Well, I didn't bring my scoop, but I brought my chopstick. I don't think this could be called a chopstick. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a specifically made bonsai soil juker thingy. Once again, I got it from my friend. It's very sad that she decided to get out of bonsai, but she had some life experiences that she just, well, I promised her I wouldn't go into any of that. So I'm not. But you can probably figure it out. And bonsai takes so, I don't want to say work, because I love it. It's not work, it's fun. But it takes time. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of attention. You know, when people say, oh, bonsai takes so much patience, I'm not so sure it takes patience. And yes, it is a certain period of time that occurs before you have a really beautiful finished tree. But I think the most important part of bonsai is attention and dedication. The time goes by, whether you're watching TV or whether you're doing your bonsai. Or, like when I was young, if you're drunk in the gutter. Did I just say that? Oh my God. All right, I have to admit, I got drunk a lot, but I was never in the gutter. I mean, I wasn't that bad. Anyway, I've been sober 40 years now, something like that. Of course, if you're in recovery, then you understand that the only day that's important is today. All right. I'll tell you what, I am super happy that I did not have to break the pot. I do find it rather comical that the roots that I cut all came as one big ribbon. Pretty crazy. But I'm happy. I have my front that I want now. And it didn't really take off that much roots, so the tree should recover just fine. Let's get this. See, what did I say? Old and dirty? I'm happy. Okay, so aftercare of this is, because it's not a real drought tolerant tree, water it right away. If I had done a portulacaria or maybe even a ficus, and especially portulacaria, I wait at least 24 hours to water it to allow the roots that I severed to heal. A tree like this does not need that kind of treatment. It's going to be much happier with watering right now. Water it in right now, put it back on the bench, keep it watered just like all the rest of my trees. When I begin to see new growth emerge, and the whole thing needs a whole nother styling. Everything needs to be wired down. Some other things need to be cut. That's after it recovers. And then I'll give it just a very light fertilization. I love what John Naka used to say. I mean, many of his sayings. And if you don't know who John Naka is, you should go look him up. He was considered the premier American bonsai artist. He was of Oriental descent, so if you looked at him, he looked like he was from Japan, but he was born in America, and he had so much knowledge and wisdom. And one of his sayings was, fertilize your bonsai, but not too much. Because if you have a finished tree and you pound the fertilizer on there, oh no, the quote was, fertilize to keep them healthy, but not too healthy. Which you think, what do you mean by that? But that's what he meant, because if you really pound the fertilizer to this thing, it will grow so fast, and it may, with the collection that I have, I may not even get to it. And then you've destroyed the form. If you're trying to create a pad and do the thing that you're trying to do, and then it just grows, 6-8 inches. So fertilize to keep your trees healthy, but not too healthy. So I'm going to water it off camera. So that's it for today. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified when I do this tree again, and all my trees. This spring is going to be very busy. There's no doubt about that. So this is the only guava I have in my collection. I tried to take some cuttings, and my success rate was 0. And well, maybe I'll try it again next time, the flusher growth. And I've had very poor success with other trees. There's no doubt about that. But I always try again. It's kind of like baseball, right? 3 strikes and you're out. So I did it once and it failed, so I got 2 more tries before I give up. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about the change of the front. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.